Okay, hello, it's 7:30, September 20th, 2020, and welcome to the weather update. Sorry I didn't do one yesterday, but I had to take a break. So much going on with the weather and almost everything else, so, it just gets a lot to bear. This is the sad light from earlier today. We had some clouds, and then the clouds kind of broke up later on, and it got clear again. We'll refresh that. So this is what it looks like now, more or less clear skies. Let's go and look at the MODIS, and we'll take a look and see what we have here. So here we go. So we have clear skies. We had clear skies yesterday, so I'll just show you what it looked like yesterday. Um, so here's yesterday, September 19th. It was clear over Long Island, and then let me just put this in here. It was clear over Long Island, and the clouds were kind of off to the south, as you see there, over probably south of Atlantic City. So most of New Jersey also got on a clear day. And again, we'll move that up to today, where we had a few more clouds around. So let's look at the players we have here on the satellite. Here's the smoke, by the way. This is the smoke from the fires that has traveled up now, and then there's some up here. So we may wind up seeing the smoke again, perhaps, if this winds up coming down our way or not. We'll have to see what happens. I'd have to actually look at a loop of this to look at that. So here are your players right here. Here's Teddy, Hurricane Teddy. Wow, look at Hurricane Teddy. Yeah, it's weakened a little bit, but it's still a healthy hurricane. And this is Beta, which could become a hurricane really shortly as well. And the smoke's kind of getting pulled down. We've got this beautiful high pressure area over us that's providing the clear air and nice cool temperatures and low humidity. This is the smoke getting pulled down. It's been blocked, and it's getting pulled down actually on the left side of Beta, believe it or not. So let's go and take a look at these tropical systems. Is that what I want to do? Yeah, well, I want to look at a loop of the satellite, so we'll first look at the tropical systems, and then we'll get to it. Oh yeah, right, not the tropical systems yet. I just want to go over the current conditions. So let's look at the dew point. And you see temperatures are in the upper 50s, dew points are in the mid 30s, nice low humidity, and I want to look actually at the low temperatures for the area. So the minimum temperature this morning, it looks like West Hampton got down to 39. For the rest of us, we got into the upper 40s to around 50 for the rest of the island. And let's see how New Jersey did, because it can get cold in Tom's River too. 39 too at west of, so the low at this is where the site is right here, Ocean County Airport, right in the west of Tom's River, in the middle of the Pine Barrens. Their low was the same. Tom's River in the downtown area got down to 42, so it's actually a little colder in Tom's River at night than it was in Nassau County. So yeah, it dropped, and it's probably going to drop again tonight, maybe even a little lower, perhaps. Okay, now let's get to the tropics. And by the way, the highs today, we can hit maximum temperature. Show you the highs. Only in the low 60s. That was it. Okay, let's go to the tropics. All right, we have Hurricane Teddy, we have Tropical Storm Beta, we have this, which was Paulette, which could reform, and I guess it would be called Paulette again. And then we have Wilfred, which is just a depression now. So let's focus on, we'll first start with Hurricane Teddy. This is we'll get the latest public advisory on Hurricane Teddy. Tropical storm watch issued for portions of Nova Scotia. Dangerous rip currents forecast along the western Atlantic beaches for several days. As of 5 p.m., location 29.0 north, 63.4 west, about 245 miles south-southeast of Bermuda. Maximum sustained winds are 105 miles an hour, moving north-northwest at 9 miles an hour, and the minimum central pressure is 964 millibars, or 28.47 inches. The hurricane force winds, this is a large hurricane. They say it right here. Teddy is a large hurricane. Hurricane force winds extend outward up to 80 miles from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 230 miles from the center. And what could happen as it weakens and as it gets further north, it'll actually expand in area. Sort of like when a dancer goes faster, they pull their arms in, and when they slow down, they take their arms out. It's the same kind of thing. So let's go look at the warning cone for this. All right, so this is the forecast track from the Hurricane Center. This could still be a hurricane when it hits Nova Scotia. they're saying tropical storm. They have it as extra. They have it as a post-tropical. I think it will still be tropical. And right now, it looks like Bermuda will avoid the worst of this. They'll get a glancing blow, tropical storm force winds. But it looks like right now that this Nova Scotia and Newfoundland will get the brunt of this right now. But we're all going to be feeling the high surf from Teddy. Now, it's not the only system we got to deal with. We have Beta. Let's go to Tropical Storm Beta. All right. So let's go to Beta. That's right. We're in the Greek alphabet here. All right. So Beta is moving a little faster toward the central Texas coast. Outer rain bands are spreading farther inland over the Texas coastal plain. As of 4 p.m., its location is 27.7 north, 94.0 west, about 120 miles south-southeast of Galveston, Texas, or about 155 miles east-southeast of Port O'Connor, Texas. Maximum sustained winds are 60 miles an hour. It's moving west-northwest at 6 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure 996 millibars, or 29.42 inches. Tropical storm, this is a large storm too. The tropical storm force winds extend out to 195 miles from the center. We'll have to see if this strengthens. It could strengthen. They're saying weakening is anticipated once it moves inland, but it hasn't moved inland yet. So that's the thing. So yeah, Beta. We're in the Greek alphabet. So let's take a look at the cone for this. So you'll see tropical storm warnings are in effect all the way from west of New Orleans, all the way along the Louisiana coast through Texas. And it looks like it's making a landfall now further north, more toward like around Houston. And then tropical storm watches are in effect. Of course, if this becomes a hurricane, these could be upgraded to hurricane warnings. Oh boy. So let's go look at the sound. Now, I say oh boy because it's just like one tropical system after another. It's like just 1, 2, 3. It's like it just hasn't slowed up all season long. So let's go to the satellite view here of these. I'll look at the tropical tidbits one, but I want to actually look at the CONUS satellite first. Okay, yeah, here we go. And let me make this a little earlier so we can see what it looks like during the day here. So there's the smoke. There's Teddy. And there is Beta. So there you go. They're both on the screen right there for you. Picture postcard there of what we're dealing with here. Luckily for us, we are in this beautiful calm area here, which is great. Here's California. You can still see the smoke from these fires are still ongoing. They've gotten some rain in the Pacific Northwest, so Oregon and Washington, the situation there has calmed down. But in California, it's still going pretty badly. Okay, so let's go to tropical tidbits, current storms. And let's first start with the infrared of Teddy. Teddy, what a name. Teddy is no teddy bear. Looks like it's weakened a little bit. Yeah, it has. It looks like it has weakened a little bit. And the reason why is it's undergoing some shear. As it's moving north, it's getting caught in the some upper level winds, so it's starting to undergo some shear, which is causing it to weaken. But it's still a fairly substantial hurricane. Let's look at the models here. And so here you go. And it looks like right now the models, the clustering, the Halifax, which I think is over here, might be spared the worst of it. Looks like it's going more over the eastern section of Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. So have to be that's what it looks like right now. And fortunately for us, it looks really unlikely that we'll see anything more than the rough surf in our area from it. So okay, current storms. Let's go to Beta. Let's take a look at Beta. So here's Beta. It looked like it was getting some strength there. I saw some convection, but now it looks like it's weakening a little bit. So it's not moving very fast, and it's probably using up a lot of the energy that's available. So, but it doesn't have. I mean, all it has to go to is 74 to be a hurricane. So it's still a possibility. So let's look at the models on this one, and they're a little. except for one. They're all focused on this area of Texas. I don't think this is Houston. I'm not sure which area of Texas this is, as far as cities go. Um, I would have to look at a map, but it looks like it's focusing on because I think Houston is over here more. So I think it's, but it could go over Houston in a weakened state, perhaps. Um, I should know. I should know the Texas, the area of the cities. I wish the cities were shown on this. Um, oh, and one thing I do want to also look. Yeah, let's look at the surface plot too. So let's look at this. Uh, these oil platforms. Oh, this is a little hard to read. But I think this area here, there aren't any major cities in this area where it's going to hit. But let's go to the weather and hazards map again. I guess I should. Oh, I still have it up. Good. All right, good. Let's go to the current observations here. And we'll go down to Texas. And it should show the cities. So I'll have an idea of. I know where Houston is. Houston's over here, so we go in this area. It looks like there's like a gap. Are any major cities here? Bay City. Yeah, it looks like there's a gap. But this Houston still has to worry about this. And like I said, they're under tropical storm warnings. There could be a lot of rain. We're going to have to look at the models for that. So let's see what we got. Gust to 46 at this oil platform. Nothing too impressive with the winds. But then again, there's no site that's right where the storm is. Okay, so let's, I guess, start with the models. I guess we'll go to the models and we'll look at these. And I guess we'll first start with Teddy, obviously. We're trying to go in order of what formed first. All right, so let me go to the first. We look at the upper air, actually. So that's the first thing we got to do, actually. So I'll go to the North American view for that. And we'll go ahead and look at the upper air pattern on the GFS. So here's Teddy. That's Beta. And you'll see Teddy kind of gets pulled into this trough here. And this is what swings it west toward Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. And it kind of combines with this low, as you see, and then makes its way up into that other low there. Beta, it doesn't have Beta getting that much stronger, at least on the upper air. And then after that, we can see kind of a ridge pattern in the east with a trough in the middle of the country, and then it kind of cuts off again. We've seen this pattern plenty of times. You have a high around and then a trough that's kind of cut off right in the southeast there as we round out September. But I got to focus on these tropical systems. I'm not looking at the long range right now. All right, so let's change the region, and oh yeah, right, I should be looking at the Euro too, my mistake. Let's go to the European upper air. See if there's any differences in the Euro, as far as the Euro goes. So here's Teddy, similar idea. Euro takes Teddy a little more on a direct hit into Nova Scotia. Can't even find Beta on here. And then after that, you see that ridge build, and it does the same thing, but the trough's even deeper. So this trough's even deeper, and there isn't as much of a ridge to the north of it. This is a very deep trough, but we are on the right side of the trough. So because we're on the right side, we're going to be getting all the moisture feed. We're not going to be getting into the cool, nice cool air on the backside. But hey, we've been spoiled the past couple of days. Can't complain. Okay, so let's go to, oh, no, what did I just do? GFS. Let's go to the eastern U.S. view. Let's take this to the surface so we can look at Teddy. Okay, here's Teddy. So here is Teddy, and you can see Teddy's passing east of Bermuda. Looks by a fairly decent margin, so Bermuda will get spared, lucky for them. But then you can see it takes that swing westward right there, right around that Tuesday mark, where it takes that swing westward and then swings back east again. It's getting nudged by that. It's getting pulled in by that upper level trough, and then it resumes its path. But this has a pretty strong storm all the way up, as you see. And then down here you see Beta, which is going to make a landfall probably tomorrow It looks like in central Texas, and it's going to affect Houston maybe, and then it's going to ride along the coast, you see, as a weak tropical storm or depression, and then dissipate. So at least it's not as strong as it was. That's the good news. And this will be more of a rainmaker than the wind, I think. Anything else like that. But that rain could be an issue, because if we look at the amount of rain that's going to fall in this area, or if we look at the total accumulated precip, you will see quite a bit. Though it's not as bad as it was before. We're seeing about 3, 4, maybe 5 inches in spot. Not a foot of rain, not 2 feet of rain. So the situation with beta is a lot better than it was, and that's very good to see, at least in that regard. So let's go to the wind now. So get an idea of the wind here. So you can see here, as we back it up here, you can see not a lot of wind with beta, and the wind kind of just dies when it reaches the land. Teddy, on the other hand, holds on to its strong winds. It actually looks like it's trying to strengthen it again as it passes east of Bermuda, and the winds just really are ripping. I mean, this is Category 2 hurricane, and it probably will stay a Cat 2 until it gets to this point. Maybe then a week into a Cat 1, maybe, but I still think that there's going to be hurricane force winds in this area, and that's going to be pretty bad. It's going to be pretty bad indeed for them. So in Nova Scotia, at least, and that's where we're going to take a closer look at our area next. So let's do that, and I guess we'll start with the temperatures. So it will remain cool. So we'll go through the weather for our area. You'll see it'll be cool, breezy, north to northeast winds. Highs tomorrow, mid-60s again, stays cool. Warms up a little bit on Tuesday. We're in the upper 60s to around 70, and then warms up further on Wednesday because there'll be that warm air coming in behind Teddy. And then we warm up a little more even on Thursday, upper 70s, maybe 80 in New Jersey or higher. Cools down slightly on Friday, but you'll see after that, after this cool air, we're going to be dealing with being above normal for a while again. So you will see that. We'll have to deal with that. It'll be above normal to around average. Let's look at the dew points. I'm enjoying that dry air. We all are. So here is tomorrow. We keep the low humidity. You can see the winds picking up. The barbs getting tighter. That's the pressure gradient between the high and Teddy. And Tuesday, we're going to have that same pressure gradient, strong, a little more north to northwest winds because Teddy is now off to our east. And then you can see that hitting Nova Scotia right there. And we still have the northwesterly flow with fairly lower dew points. But then as we get on the right side of that trough, you'll see what will happen. That humidity is going to come up into our area to round out the end of September. So let's go look at the skies. So tomorrow should be mostly clear, maybe a few clouds over the Jersey Shore. Tuesday, probably clear. We're going to be sandwiched in there now. Maybe some clouds toward the east end of Long Island from Hurricane Teddy, perhaps. The clouds will definitely make it over Cape Cod. Those clouds stay to the east for the most part. Then Wednesday, we're still clear. We're kind of in the clear spot. And then by Thursday, we finally start getting back into a maybe more chunkier pattern as things go on. I'll look at the NAM. So here is the NAM, and the NAM actually has the clouds further west. So here is the NAM for tomorrow, and you see it'll mostly clear over Long Island, maybe some clouds over Jersey Shore. You have a tendency to get that with the northeast wind. And then as we get into Tuesday, you'll see that the clouds from Teddy kind of affect the eastern end of Long Island while it's clear in New Jersey, which is kind of interesting there. So that's the sky forecast. We're not done yet. We got to go look at windy.com and look at how windy.com views Teddy right now. All right, we'll put this on wind gusts. There's Teddy right there. So this is as of, I'll move this down so you get an idea of where it is. No, I'll move this down so you can see the date down here. So Sunday. All right, there's Teddy Sunday. We'll fast forward to tomorrow at this time. And here is, it looks like it's strengthened it. You can see, look at the area, so it has it strengthening again, especially on the right side of the storm. probably because it's going to start to move up at a faster speed, so that right side of the storm is going to have stronger winds. It'll actually amplify the winds. This is again the European model. Trying to see how close it comes to Bermuda. It looks like Bermuda just avoids the hurricane. They'll have some tropical storm force wind gusts, but it shouldn't be too bad for them. Now we'll go to Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday at 2 p.m. Here's Tuesday at 2 p.m., and we're going to be dealing with some winds from this on Tuesday, I think. Gusts in our area, maybe eastern along there, it'll be a breezy day for sure. And here's Teddy again. Again, look at this. Still very. This could, like I said, it could re-strengthen again. The Euro seems to think it's going to re-strengthen back up to maybe a little bit. Maybe up to 110, 120 miles an hour, Category 2. It doesn't really start weakening until it gets closer to this colder water over here, and that would finally cause it to weaken and lose some of its strength. But still some strong winds just offshore, and even the Cape could see gusts near 50 miles an hour with this. And then here it finally makes landfall around Halifax. Luckily, the winds aren't as bad. And the only real saving grace that protects Newfoundland is there's cold water around Newfoundland, so it will cause it to weaken when it gets within a few hundred miles of the shore there. So those are the wind gusts for that area. And then you still see winds up to, they still gust up to 70 miles an hour perhaps. And then that's not the only effect we're going to see from it. And then it finally makes its way up. So let's go back to Monday, and we're going to look at the waves next. Because this is the other issue. We're going to have a lot of high surf. So you can see the waves already. Some of these waves, nearly 50 feet. That is a really high waves. For our shores, off the South Shore, we're going to see 10 to 15 foot waves. But it's going to come up even more as this thing moves north. So here we are, Tuesday evening, and waves off the South Shore are 11 feet, but not that far off the ocean, you're going to have 22-footer waves. So very high surf, beach erosion, some coastal flooding possible. But look in this storm here. I mean, those waves are insane. 43 feet. And 32-foot waves. This is going to be, I'm pretty sure they have a rocky coastline there in Nova Scotia, so that might protect them, hopefully, because any areas that are low-lying, there's going to be a tremendous storm surge in this area. Move this on to Wednesday at 9. And again, this is the European model. We'll go back to the winds here, and we're going to look at the GFS on here. So I'll change this over to the GFS next. So let's go look at the GFS. Monday, 7 p.m. This is the GFS. Let's see if the GFS shows the same thing. And it does. It really does show the same thing happening. Gains a little bit of strength. Here's Tuesday. Not quite as much as the Euro. But again, look at these wind gusts. You still have a 100-mile-an-hour hurricane not that far off the coast. 27-mile-an-hour wind gusts there at the east end. Like I said, the further west you go, the winds drop off. And then the winds finally do drop off as it makes its closer approach and it gets over that cooler water. And the GFS doesn't have it heading as far west. It has it heading a little further east. And the worst part might stay to the south and the east of Halifax. But certain areas you'll see 71-mile-an-hour gusts. So this storm. Now there's Beta. I haven't forgotten about Beta. It's just that Beta is not going to be that strong of a storm. And talking more about Teddy, especially because it affects close to home. So let's go look at Teddy. Now let's look at Beta on here, and it just doesn't look that impressive wind-wise. It's probably not going to become a hurricane at this point. It may not, and then it's just kind of the winds aren't going to really be. I mean, there'll be some wind, but the main issue is going to be the rain. Let me just go ahead and look at the European on the winds here. All right. Well, the Euro's a little stronger with the winds, but still, it's not terrible. It's going to stay a tropical storm according to this, so it might not make it to hurricane status as far as Beta goes. But it'll still cause some damage in an area that we don't need anymore. So Corpus Christi, it's going between Corpus Christi and Houston as far as the landfall goes. But these areas could again be affected by the rain that this could bring. But again, the GFS doesn't seem to indicate as much rain. It doesn't have as strong of a system. Um, so all right. So the last thing we're going to go to is earthnullschool.net, and we'll take a look at those water temperatures. And I just want to point out why Teddy. I know I'm focused on Teddy, but that's because it's an eastern seaboard storm. Luckily, it's not hitting the eastern. Well, it is hitting up north. Luckily, but it's just it's really interesting to watch this. So we're going to look at the sea surface temperature, and I'll show you what I mean here. So once it gets by Nova Scotia, you'll see this whole area here is protected by cold water. So like here on Long Island, where water temperatures are, let's see, off the South Shore, still around 70. If you look at the water temperatures in the Gulf of Maine, 58 degrees. So it's a lot colder, and that'll weaken the storm, and that'll protect them. But I still think this is going to be a bad one for us, for them. And it's all about the speed of movement. Obviously, the faster it moves, the stronger it's going to be. The slower it moves, the more time it has to weaken. But that's going to wrap up this weather update. Again, we've got a lot of tropical systems to juggle, of course. But we'll just keep enjoying the beautiful weather we're going to get. Oh, there's one other thing I wanted to look at on earthnullschool.net. That's the smoke forecast. So I almost forgot. I was almost about to wrap it up, but then I realized, there's one other thing I want to talk about. Okay, let's pull this out here so you can get a look at the smoke here. Alright, this is a little more accurate with the smoke. Okay, let's move this along here. So this is today. Let's see if we see any of that smoke make its way back into our area. Not really any thick smoke for us. Maybe a little bit here and there, but and again, it's hard to forecast what's going to happen with the smoke. It's kind of like you'll see every day where it moves. It's very hard to predict. There's so many variables. So that is going to be it for this weather update. Again, there you go. There's Teddy right there. Teddy threatening and again, it would be landfall on Wednesday, I believe, for Nova Scotia, I believe. So again, we're going to go back to the Hurricane Center, and we're going to look at Teddy here. And go to the thing, and I'll just show you this. So this is again. So it's going to make a landfall. It would be Wednesday, yeah. It would be Wednesday. So we're going to keep an eye on this. I'll have another weather update for you tomorrow night. Have a great night.